This is a B stance or behind stance deadlift. This is a variation on a staggered stance. The reason it is called a B or behind stance is because our working leg, our stance leg, is actually behind the front leg. Usually when we are doing a staggered stance, our working leg is the front leg. This time we're switching it up and the working leg is going to be the back leg. You're going to get set up for this exactly like you would for a staggered stance deadlift where your front leg is the working leg, okay? So we're going to have the back leg be the working leg. So in this instance, my left leg is my working leg. I'm going to plant my foot, make sure that my toe is in line with my heel, and then I'm going to put my right leg slightly in front of my left leg so my heel is about even with the mid foot. So my left foot here, my right heel is going to be even with that left mid foot, and I will have my kettlebell or dumbbell that I'm using should be right about in the middle of that stance. Now, the first thing that we want to do is get off of the right side or off of the front leg, okay? So I need to literally think about pushing myself over to that left side and don't lock this knee out, okay? So unlock your knee because I know you're probably gonna push yourself over there and immediately boop, lock your knee, okay? Unlock your knee. So now you're on the left side. That right foot should feel very light. You should sense the ground, but the left side needs to feel extremely heavy when you do this. All right, now next thing that we're gonna do is I would highly recommend just kind of like practice hinging here first before you add some load to it to make sure that you're kind of okay with how things are feeling and working. So remember, we're going to let the knee come over the midfoot and then the left hip is going to go back. You will need to bend your right leg slightly as you go down, but you should feel almost all of the effort coming into this left side. And we're going to come down. Booty cheeks are spreading out as we go down. Remember, don't lean back as you go down, okay? We want to keep our weight centered over the midfoot. And we're coming down here. And then we're going to come back up, extending all the way out of your hip before you straighten your knee. Let's go ahead and add some weight to it. So we can do this with one hand or we can do it goblet style. I showed you both variations in the demo, but I'm going to do it goblet style for now. So I've got that weight shifted over to the left side. I'm going to unlock my knee. So there's a slight bend here. Next thing that's going to happen, I'm gonna let that hip come back, making sure that my center of mass is really staying centered over that midfoot. I'm gonna grab my kettlebell and then I'm gonna stand up, extending out of the hip first. I wanna think about letting that left hip open as I come back. The reason that we're using this behind stance is that sometimes it can really help to turn us into the hip that we're trying to work a little bit more. So if we're trying to get more into the left hip, having that left hip be behind can sometimes feel better than trying to have the left foot in front and working from there, because we tend to turn away from the hip sometimes if our stance leg is in front. Not always, but sometimes. And it's nice to just try different variations of things and feel like, what does your body like and what makes more sense to you. So I'll show you on the right side from the front, just so you can have one more different view of how to do this. So my right leg is going to be my working leg. I'm going to put that behind. My left leg is in front. My left heel is in line with my right mid foot. And I have that kettlebell just kind of in the middle of my stance. I don't want to be reaching forward for the kettlebell. I should be able to reach straight down and grab the kettlebell. This time I'm going to do it with one arm just to kind of show you what that looks like. So I would grab it with my left hand and I'm making sure that right knee is over the midfoot, that I'm not leaning back too far, okay? So center of mass over midfoot. I'm going to grab it with the left hand here and then we'll come up, straighten the hip out before the knee, okay? Stand up out of your hip and then coming back again, letting that right hip open up and then coming forward and back and forward and set it down and you're done. All right, that's how you do it.